Welcome in, everybody, to another SNHU weekly esports broadcast. Today, we're going to be bringing you one of the FACEIT matches here for our Valorant team. It's the Contenders division, I believe, of the collegiate tournament. I am Kresnik, as always, joined by, as I probably will be for the vast majority of our Valorant matches, Sutan, the head coach of the Valorant team. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Just been playing some Valheim lately, so
Yeah, that game's fun.
excited for a Valorant team tonight.
Yeah, if I could, I would vamp about Valheim for the next little while. But we got to talk about the other Val game here tonight. Valorant watching the team play, always exciting and always long. And this is one of the latest starts we've had so far. So I will say I'm a little worried, but it is a best of one, as all the FACEIT tournaments are. So only one map this time. And I believe both teams also whittle away at those until there is only one left. I know each team gets 2 bans. Do you have any information on what map we might be seeing here today, or what maps we banned in particular?
Yeah, so I think for tonight, I look at this league and I say, what can we really get out of it? What kind of practice can we get, and what can we improve from this league? And right now, I'm really hoping we get a chance at Haven. It's a map that we haven't played in a long time, and it's something that we would love to lean into if given the opportunity, and just get some practice on, get some gameplay on it. We haven't played it for months at the competitive level. A lot of the maps have been pretty similar, splits, Ascent, but I really want to get some gameplay on some other maps, maybe Bind, maybe Haven. And you might be seeing a new face tonight for one of the players, fan favorite as he should be. So it should be a pretty exciting night.
Yeah, I mean, Dickard, we might be seeing swapping in. Who is he swapping in for in particular? Who's he going to be filling the void of?
So traditionally we have Jaden on our Killjoy, but I think he's going to be swapping in there, and we might see a position swap from zone to a Sentinel position where
Okay.
Dickard might take over as Smokes. That's going to be the
Okay.
idealism, but we'll see what they want to go with in the moment. I know Snare also has some gameplay on a Sentinel, and most of our players are pretty versatile, so we'll see what we get out of them tonight.
Yeah, and I think being able to experiment in this best of one league is really valuable, right? You can give your subs playtime too. You never know when someone's gonna fill in. Look back at our last best of 3 match. We had Ari stepping in on some of those maps as they went on, even doing a minor role swap, I believe, later in the last series we were able to cast. So it's good to get that practice in. It's good to let your team kind of flex around and see how you do on maps maybe you're not used to, how you do with roles maybe you're not used to, and maybe try some strategies if you end up on a map that you have practiced that you might not be trying otherwise in those long best of 3 series.
Absolutely, I completely agree. It's just it's tough with these best of ones, but also it gives a little bit more of an opportunity for different skilled teams to be able to give that opportunity if they're prepared, if they're ready for the match, and they're able to take 8 rounds off of one side and then finish off on the next. Who knows? Maybe a plat team could beat a mortal team if given the right circumstances. So I think with this league, you see a very similar pace to like football, where they're playing one game a week and it's winner takes all.
Oh, okay. I that's what you were getting at. I thought you meant in the game. And I was saying I feel like I don't really remember that. But
No,
that's how I'm gonna watch
no.
Valorant. I'm more than excited to see the teams all run at each other with knives at the very start. Does anyone still do that to decide sides? Is like the knife round to pick a side still a thing?
I think it might be in CS:GO. I haven't watched competitive
Okay.
CS:GO in a
Yeah, I
while,
know
but
it
I'm
is in
pretty sure they
CS.
still do it for maybe pub matches.
Yeah, well, it is always fun to have that. I know TF2 used to have the slowest character in the game. Heavies would punch each other to decide sides
Really?
in some competitive leagues right now. I did get some info about what's happening. Dickard is on his way, loading in, and that's why we're holding back a little bit here. Do you know the map bans must have been done by now? Which maps have you guys taken out of the pool, unless that gets done as they all load in?
Some bands that we were looking for was
Mhm.
specifically we wanted to get rid of bind. It was just something that we've been practicing
Okay.
this week. It's something that we thought just we weren't strong on this week, so we wanted to get off our minds. We didn't really want to look to play it, and then possibly either Icebox or either Split or Icebox. We did a little bit of research, on this team, and
Mhm.
we found out they're a pretty defensive heavy team. They like to play a double Sentinel lineup. They like to take most of the rounds on the defensive side. So
Okay.
we want to get Split off the map rotation, just because Split's such a CT heavy side. And yes, we play strong on the map, but I don't want it to be a flip of the coin. I don't want it to
Of
say
course.
who's going to start on CT first. and then they'll get the lead. So we're going to take that off, and then hopefully I think we're going to try to go for Icebox as well for a ban.
Yeah, I was gonna say if that's the case, why Icebox? Unless that's just a map you guys have been practicing a lot and don't want to have to play. But if you in particular are looking to target this team, Icebox seems like it would make sense if that's the style that they like to play. Is it just because you guys have been practicing it?
Icebox, I think we're pretty confident on. I don't
Okay.
mind playing on the map at all. It's more so just the composition. I really wanted to get Dickard some game
Okay.
time tonight, and Dickard just hasn't played too much on the map. Our
Yeah.
primary lineup on that map includes the Ari with Frenchie with the Sage pick, so we primarily want to look for that. But I think for tonight, since we are looking to have Dickard come in, we probably won't be playing the Icebox.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense if it's trying to get Dickard a little bit of that play time, maybe on those smokes, like you mentioned with the role swaps that we've seen. And you said that you were able to do some scouting on this team. I know that's not normally a luxury we get to have in these collegiate leagues. You mentioned the defensive play. Is there anything else that stood out to you about their team and about do you know where maybe their elo lies in ranked?
Not too much their elo. It's very tough
Okay,
still, just because there's no
to find out.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's no op.gg or anything like that. I do know that they love to go with the possible Cypher slash Sage or Killjoy slash
Mhm.
Sage. So that is typically what they're going to be playing. And they like to maybe run with only one entry. They like to go with maybe the Phoenix, and that's kind of interchangeable with what they're looking for out of their duelist play. But we might see something with more information gathering like Sova.
Yeah, and definitely I'm excited to see the way that they like to play. Again, one of my favorite parts about collegiate is kind of seeing all the unique ways that teams want to approach the game, but we're still taking a while to approach here on our camera side. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Valorant. Welcome back all here as we are still waiting on the game to start, but we do have a small change. It's cursed. I'm cursed to always cast long Valorant games, and Dickard is cursed to never actually be able to get subbed in. He was having some tech issues. I want to say it was Vanguard related. I believe those are the whisperings that we were hearing, but Haven going to be the map here. I'm assuming we're happy about being able to give this map a shot, give it some practice, and we might see a more standard comp coming in since we're not trying to find a way to slot Dickard into the composition.
Yeah, and I think we wanted the Haven map tonight, anyways. But we will see. I think Stevie, Jade come back in and take over that
Mhm.
positioning. I'm not entirely sure what composition they're going to be running. I think we'll probably see Zone more so on the smokes, but who knows? We're a little bit blown off, but we got to make sure that we're in the right mindset, ready to continue tonight's game.
And it looks like he's actually off the smokes. He's going to be playing that cipher on the site. Jade will be the one slotting in on that brimstone. On the other side, I'd say we're about expecting it, but you were right about that defensive composition. The cipher on there will and the killjoy both to have on each site will be playing into their game. But I feel like on this map in particular, that might not be as strong. Now, correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I mean, just the fact that there's 3 sites having a sentinel on 2 of them, you can force them in one lane, but that does mean there's going to be a site that has less utility.
I agree. I think when you look at Haven, it's definitely a more T-sided map. But with any new game, there's always going to be new developments in the meta and
Of course.
how certain teams want to play certain maps. And we've seen some professional play where they might leave a site completely just with Cipher utility, just for information. Once the Cipher cam goes off, they're going to rotate fast, and they might play 2 to 3 towards mid on B site, and then have that fast rotation maybe towards A, maybe towards C, wherever that cipher play is going to be. But we're going to have to see what they want to do. A standard setup might be one towards a short, one towards a long, and then maybe
Mhm.
one on B site, one in garage, and one C. But many different teams have many different strategies, so we'll see what they want to do.
Yeah, of course. We'll see if they have just one of those sentinels kind of playing that hard anchor over on the site. So that could be kind of one way to make up for having everyone else playing that rotation game. But I did want to actually ask again. I mentioned about the Reyna. We talked about the Reyna's nerfs and Wheezy and other teams actually still picking that Reyna. Now that there's been a little bit more time, has the opinion changed significantly? It seems Wheezy is still picking it, so we know he's still big on it, but have we seen a shift away from that character at all?
I haven't seen too many players shift too far away. I think
Okay.
before, when you look at Reyna, she's maybe oppressive, and just because she has so many different heals, so many different abilities to teleport, but she still has it. It's not like it's gone away. It's not like they've nerfed the numbers on it. It's more
Mhm.
so just you've limited the amount of times that she can do so. So I don't think you're going to see much less of her. She's still strong, but we'll have to wait and see. And as we get into this round.
You mentioned a strong defensive team, and it looks like that's coming true here, but Frenchie will flip the tide on them there. 2 picks for him now. It's a 2 versus 2 with low HP. On the Omen, on the other side, Frenchie is the one low there. We'll see if Zoned can maybe make the most of his health pool and be able to get aggressive here. But potential to a Jaffro does not rotate far enough over to see. He'll go for the defuse. They have the bait there. They know he's there. They can spray into the smoke. He's the low one in there, actually, but he'll push. He'll find Frenchie. That's his 3rd pick of it. He does headshot and catch Zone. So great play there by the Omen playing in his own dark cover. We'll get to the defuse in the first round. Goes to SMSU.
Very well played there from SMSU, and they definitely. I think that Omen definitely played the smoke correctly. He just used his slow walk there, is able to get the pickup, and just found his headshots.
Yeah, it was good by him in the end. We didn't get to see the entirety of that round. A little issue. We had to restart Valorant, but we did come in and kind of the peak of the excitement. We had, 2 seconds to prepare before Frenchie ended up getting his duo there. But, I mean, you can see the way that they were playing it kind of around that B side. They were able to recover with the numbers that they had, but looking like an A side attack here, and Phoenix is holding close ciphers there, so it's going to be 5 pushing into 2 with 2 pretty far away on that C site. So if they go quick, they can take advantage of that.
Definitely, I really like this this attack there. And saw this cipher cage early there. Nice pickup there from Wheezy.
Yeah, it was a great push there, finding that pick onto Wookiee, the Phoenix, and they should get the plant down here for them. They are just all getting tracked by that spy cam and recon, it looks like, but able to keep this area held now. They did manage to get that camera as well, so information a little bit light now for SMSU, and kind of taking the same angle. We have the Jet playing in Hell, waiting for someone to drop down, but the similar angles being taken by them. They can't really do a long rotate. This map doesn't really allow for that. And a very slow play is going to be their game plan, but they have to know that it's mostly pistols in hand on SNHU. They don't know where Wheezy's sitting, though, in the corner. Frenchie gets a second one as well. The push from Heaven from the Cypher, not able to win that trade. 100 health basically on each. Wheezy wants to get aggressive here. Classic right clicks, not able to connect, but able to force him back long enough. The bomb is getting close to going off. Only one person left. Wheezy wants to steal this Bucky, and he will be able to get away with it thanks to Snare with that frenzy. They barely escape the bomb and walk away with a little bit of a boost to that economy.
Great positioning there from SNHU. I love where they were sitting, and that was kind of funny that Wheezy actually ran out of bullets completely in his pistol. But I really like the small plays. I think it's really important. The big reason why you see Cypher on this map a little bit more than Killjoy just in meta, and I think why SNHU's looking to play it, is for that cross onto A short. You see that Cypher cage, and if you do that as a default, then the opponents never know where you're really going to come from. So you see it happen here again. It's just a denial of information, and it's a very smart play. But we're going to see if SNHU wants to take over A side again, or maybe go back towards B or C.
I think it would make a lot of sense to go this way again. I mean, they already saw how many people were going to be there. They can assume someone's going to be swapped, but it looks like, are they checking the corner? They are. They catch him right around the curveball, too. Not able to make the most of it, and they have him recon the eye. All the utility is here, and they're aggressive, too. I don't think they're going to expect Snare to be here. Definitely not. Jafro picked off by that aggressive play, and now, only 2 versus 5 in a retake situation. It's going to be a big ask for SMSU, and they don't know Snare's here. Another kill. Form wants to find more, trying to stay aggressive. Dashing in, Waffle is not ready. 4 kills for Snare in that round with a flawless round for Snip.
Very well played there. Just taking up the short way, going a couple too long. And just like you said, they were going towards A again. It looked like they had a strong second attack there in the second round, and they wanted to keep it going towards A. Right now, it looks like their A site is looking a little weak, even with the Cypher play there. And I haven't seen too many trips from the enemy Cypher, but let's see how SNHU wants to play this round. They're looking to play a little bit more split this time.
And I think this is smarter, at least if they just don't go A, because you have to assume they're going to put more utility there after how good their attacks have been these last 2 rounds. Most teams are going to want to make that swap, but it's actually pretty similar except for aggressive play in A short and maybe too aggressive of a play over in C long. A long distance pick by Frenchie could give them a chance to get in as the rotation's coming in, and someone has to watch this back and be careful.
After watching Frenchie hit that first shot, I am very happy that I scheduled the scrim before this match tonight. His aim's looking on point. A lot of our players are just looking a little bit more fresher, I guess, in these early rounds. So I'm glad we got that going early.
Pre-game scrims are so important. I mean, I'll say that as a player. If I didn't scrim before a tournament, we better hope we have an easy round 1. And this is a best of 1. You have to come in on your A game if you want to succeed here. Snare almost gets picked off, but Jet's mobility very hard to punish here. Cloudburst will buy them a little bit of time, but again, all 3 members coming from one similar angle. They know where they have to be coming from. Omen maybe a little bit delayed. Jafro does lose that aim duel to Zone. Piece of Bread manages to get a few, but it's 1 versus 1. He pulls out the classic and to get him from that range. Zoned doesn't need to reload. He'll pull out the fan, cool himself off after that one. Not going to get blown up by the bomb, but will push SNHU to a 3-1 lead.
Showcasing the new fan, of course, with a new collection. Great post-plant positioning from SNHU. I thought they played really well, and that the enemy Cypher, the piece of bread from the other team, almost came in clutch there. I thought he had a really good retake there, taking off 3 right away. But nice play from Zone, pulling out the pistol, realizing that he's not going to reload in time, and finish off the last player.
Yeah, Piece of Bread was looking ready, but unfortunately Zone made him toast. No? Nothing? Not funny? Oh, all right, that's fine. I'll take it's fine. I was letting that one sit for a minute.
I was so focused on Frenchie's missed arrow. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, it's all right. That's the coach in you talking. I completely understand here. Look at this pressure right now. On C-side, the Cypher, the Sova, excuse me, not ready for that at all. Zoned also finding one on that site on the right side as well. So aggressive play not really working out quite as well. A little bit of a Cypher wall hack here gives them some info, but no movement just yet. I think they want to make them afraid. They might see that combat beacon actually and some info on the Killjoy. Knows where the turret is at the very least. Reyna will force them back with that blind. Jade very low, but still manages to win the duel, and a relatively free sight for them, especially if they catch the Cypher. Great shot there by Snare on the piece of bread. That would have been the better place to make the toast pun, but this Phoenix is the one who's going to be burnt here now, stuck in a 1 versus 5, and a big mountain to climb with everybody hunting him down.
Yep, I think SNHU's playing a really nice, calm, poised game right now. They're pushing up slowly, taking a lot of space. Their attacks just look very coordinated, and it just looks like the other team is spread really thin. I thought they might have played a little bit more of a different lineup since they were bringing in the double sentinel on this site, but this map just does not allow for fast rotations. It's a big map. There's a lot of space to cover. And they aren't utilizing, I think, their information gathering with Cypher as much as they probably could. But Snare's looking strong early, Frenchie's looking really strong early, and the entire SNHU team is looking strong.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think one big thing about this map, from what I can tell by watching it, is that if you're rotating on the defense, you're kind of limited in the space you can take unless you go through T-spawn. But that's a very long rotation, and your team has to at least find something, I think, on the other end of it. But we'll see this here in A side as they try to walk through. Sova, Hunter's Fury coming from SNHU, but nothing with it just yet. Great push, actually, by Wookie, but he only gets one. Can't find Snare. Actually didn't manage to connect them at all. Look at this aggressive play by Snare. Win the duel. Unfortunately, piece of bread. Great play by him. Might take that other one here, but it looks like it's a stalemate. Over there is zoned, backs off. Frenchie checking out this site, clearing it. They know that there has to be someone on site. It's not going to be abandoned, so Frenchie will play it careful. But it was a great kite there by Dark Crystal, but it's going to be very difficult to win that 1 versus 2 if it comes down to it.
Yeah, it's really tough to know really how a team wants to play. They might not know. Nice pick up from the enemy Killjoy there, and Stevie gets a trade on site. 1v2 situation.
Yeah, great play. We'll see if he has the chance to plant the spike, and it looks like he's going to go for it. Even with this drone coming in, he has time, even if he might not know. He is spotted, though, which could make it difficult. Maybe, I was going to say, maybe we see a Brimble dropped in that corner. He knows he's there, but unfortunately caught on the rotation. Didn't expect him to be quite that close that fast. And SMSU, they're going to take it around. This actually, score on the board right now is their current record, 1-4, and they're hoping at the end of this game to put it up to this 2 versus 4 we're seeing now.
Yeah, of course. I think, as I was saying before, it's really tough to understand how a team wants to operate. And yes, we've done a little bit of VOD review on them, but it's until you start really playing against a team, you start to realize, are they a fast rotation team? Do they like to hold sites firmly? Do they like to anchor certain players? And I don't think they knew that the Killjoy is still on C after the Frenchie drone kind of scouted the site a little bit. They maybe thought it was clear. But, you know, great positional play, great defensive play from SMSU.
Yeah, I think we would assume, I think they thought he was just a little bit further back instead of necessarily close on the site, but we'll see what happens here on this push. They're ignoring that C site this time, not going to give Dark Crystal a chance for another hero play as they stack pretty far here. They have an operator lined up here as well with an Empress. Looks like popped here from Wheezy. Might want to get aggressive, but Zone is the first to fall. They're on a short. Phoenix disengaging, and now looks like they're taking some info here in main by T-Spawn. The Molotov also forcing them a little bit further back. Great visual just denial here by this Phoenix, but piece of bread, Wheezy catches him there with the duels in main, and now the rotations from SMSU are starting to come in, even if it is taking a little while. We're seeing a full rotation here from SNHU.
I like this play here. You know, they didn't really get the initial picks onto A. They're going to maybe look to play towards C long here, but SMSU playing very fast towards the C site, kind of understand that they might look to rotate.
I like that play by the Omen. Unfortunately, Jaffro, after using that teleport, not able to find any frags from it. And aggressive use of the Reyna flashes for some visual denial. They might not know that Snare's there, and Wheezy wins that duel against Dark Crystal. We got to get that spike down now. And Snare, they didn't know he was there. The angle with that operator forces them back, and now 1 versus 5 for the Sova. I don't think he spends anything. Look for an exit frag or two, but it's going to be very difficult in these numbers. Even if he uses that Hunter's Fury, I just don't think it's realistic.
And, I mean, it could be possible. A lot of players from SNHU's side playing towards long, but it's difficult to know that in this situation. I agree with you. I think he looks to save. Maybe looks to get a frag or two on the exits.
Yeah, I think that's the smart play, but SNHU are already so far out, he might actually get a little bit surprised here timing-wise. He's hard-stepping, and definitely no way of knowing he's about to get flanked by Snare. Now he hears it and barely misses those shots. Looks like he doesn't want to reload, has to pull out the classic. 3 people at once. That is horrifying. And Waffle going down will get SNHU another round on the board.
Yeah, I think Waffle there just played a little bit too aggressive. Maybe played around mid, made too many loud footsteps there for SNHU to just not let him go for free. So I think that was well played from SNHU, just able to pick up on the voice and help their friend Snare there.
Big save round coming in here from SMSU. As of right now, at least. Obviously that could change, but not a lot of utility. Some light armor, some SMGs being picked up now. And that SMG, that Stinger, definitely hurting the economy, I think, a little bit more nowadays after some of those changes. But aggressive play, it looks like SNHU might have an idea that this is the case. Snare going pretty far forward there in A short with a slow fight happening in A long. But I like this split. They think that they might be getting desperate on the other side, so they're having Jade watch this lurk, but not really aware of this Omen.
Yeah, this Omen has a really good opportunity here to get maybe a pick here if SNHU wants to go towards C, but they're leaning over towards A. They want to maybe look to execute, and right now, just SMSU doesn't have too many players on site towards A. If they rush now, they could look to have a 5v2, maybe 5v3.
And I don't think they necessarily know that it's been a hard save quite yet. Barely getting away is Waffle with zone rotating back onto the site. The little bit of utility they have is being used now. Wheezy getting aggressive on site, using that dismiss to rotate out again, and now everyone will be flooding in. The doors have been kicked down. Wookie manages to get one, but Wheezy finds next with the classic, and it's all on this Killjoy and this Omen on these long rotations. Dark Crystal and Jaffro. Looks like they might catch him, though. Snare might have caught a glimpse. They at least know that someone might be coming from that direction, and Dark Crystal playing this very patient. Jaffro does go down, and maybe a bit of a desync here on the timing from Dark Crystal, and now they know he's here, so he's got to be ready for some aggression. He is ready for Wheezy for now. Hurting that economy just a little bit, but he has to be so careful. This is going to be very difficult to do, even with that turret there. They can just disengage, and they know he's going to be right there. Penetration kill from Frenchie. SNHU put it up to 6-2.
Dark Crystal maybe getting baited by the gun there, the Phantom on the ground, but great play from SNHU. I think SNHU is looking to just kind of play slow, look for picks, and then realize maybe we can go towards B, maybe we can go towards A, wherever they're really gaining enough space to kind of push forward without SMSU really understanding where SNHU is right now. I think they're playing the T side just so well, just using the space as much as they want.
I will say, though, I do like the start of the adaptation from SMSU. The fact that they had that Omen doing that flank through T-spawn. I think you kind of have to do that. If your sites feel a little bit weak, you have to have someone making that little bit of a play and taking that ground for now. But it's difficult with a Cypher on the attack when you're walking into those tripwires on those flanks. It makes it significantly harder.
Yeah, and I think right now it's just SNHU's giving them a lot of different information. They're probably hearing a few through Garage. They're hearing one pick there from there, A long, and they're not exactly sure where they are. It's tough for them to rotate. They have to get these picks on this SNHU if they want to hold their sites properly.
Yeah, they need to, but it's just not happening right now. The turret tries to make it happen, but obviously just some chip damage instead. Wheezy finds another as well and gets the information with the dismiss. This Phoenix is on a long flank, but he is shift walking while the C side, is just getting completely collapsed on. Wookie now realizes, I don't think this is really realistic. I'll hold on to the weapons that I have and the utility I have. This one Vandal is all SMSU are really going to have to hang on to this round.
This is going to be really tough for SMSU to regain their momentum here, especially looking at if they're only going to next round with the Vandal. I'm not entirely sure what the money situation is. They might be on a few bonus. Okay, so they are looking pretty broke here. They did just spend a lot of their creds. They're not going to have too much money. It's going to be tough. I think SNHU's in a really good positioning to lead throughout this first half on T side.
Yeah, we're going to be going 7-2 for sure. Actually, they might be able to hit the economy here if Snare doesn't check every single corner, and the operator is going to be something very valuable. He saw him, but didn't see him close enough, and Snare ends up losing that operator. They could take that, but he assumes his team's going to be there and decides to let it be for now. That could have been a big boon to SMSU if they picked it up.
Yep, and it looks like SMSU is going to possibly force, again, maybe a half buy. They definitely don't want to force too much in case they're going to be losing again, but I think they're looking to half by, maybe force a little bit. And I'm not entirely sure if they're handling their economy correctly.
I don't know if I hate the decision. The SMGs are still pretty good, and you manage to save a Vandal. If you have one rifle on each of the sites that they've been commonly pushing, we haven't seen a B site take from SNHU yet. It could make sense as long as you have someone on that site to anchor off of with a good weapon.
Very true. And I think the concept of this map is unlike Split, where Split's such a defensive-minded map, it's very easy for CT side to just get clear shot angles on players. Haven is almost the complete opposite of this game. It makes it very easy for T side to spread the defenses thin and be able to attack different sites with how SNHU's really been playing, which they're playing slow. They're playing for different sites. They're playing for different angles. And right now, it's looking like they might be able to just take a few sites for free, including C site right now.
And they had some great information on this site too. It was a fantastic recon bolt from Frenchie, letting them see what weapons they were holding, you know, where they were positioned here. And now they're going to see that that cipher is fairly close on the site, but it was an early destruction. That's a lack of information beyond that. And Dark Crystal, as we know, has been kind of playing this lurky game here on this site, and it could come into effect again. But it looks like we might actually be seeing for the first time a B take here from SNHU. They get the plant down. They got that pick. They won't get that spy cam down. They have to rotate, though. Does Zoned as he ends up kind of stuck on the site with an Omen getting potentially aggressive on him, but he'll just hold in that dark cover for now. Killjoy Ultimate, the lockdown will more than likely force Zoned out here. Doesn't realize that Jaffro's there, and the Sheriff will get him a pick. But now that they can't really stay on the site, they have to be far enough away to avoid that detain. They have to be able to spray the bomb, but he has an operator. He might not be able to find it, but he gets forced off. Frenchie with that pick scares Jaffro into rotating and pushing him right into that sight line. Frenchie picks up 3 that round. We don't care about the lockdown, and says SNHU will just run back in and run you over.
Very well played there. I think at the beginning there I was a little scared for that positioning by Zoned. He kind of just walked on a site. Understood, he kind of watched left and right, but then just started planting without any real good cover. But I think Jade was able to get a pick on B side and make that plan a little bit more safe. And then that was just great positioning post plant from Frenchie the lurk and playing window there from Snare.
Yeah, Snare and window I think was so key because they got that initial pick, and it scared the player on site at the very end to push into Frenchie's sight line. It definitely all ended up being important here. Look at this play right now by SMSU. They are pretty okay. Now they're backing off, but they were both sitting forward in that garage, just waiting for somebody to push up. It's a very aggressive round here from them, but no one's taking a fight. They just want to surprise SNHU and maybe get a kill that they wouldn't expect to be walking into.
And I think if I'm SMSU, I maybe want to play a little different than how they've been playing. They've kind of been playing more defensive, waiting for SNHU to come into their angles, but I want to see them get a little bit more aggressive. I would really like to see them push out of garage there. But Wookie Wook doesn't get the pick on a Wheezy early into this round.
Yeah, he managed to win that duel here, and look at that Hunter's Fury. Great shot there from the Sova, slowing down Snare, so Piece of Bread could finish up that kill, and now SNHU are looking in a rough position. They've used an ultimate already this round, and maybe even 2. I think they had 5 strong going in here without that much, but now they're walking into sight. That Killjoy is relatively low, and if they get this turret, they can maybe take some solid fights. Just have to keep eyes on that Killjoy. Dark Crystal, though, forks a great angle.
Cross.
They're great by SMSU, playing that such patient play by the Killjoy. I think Dark Crystal's just positioning has been one of the things keeping SMSU in this.
Definitely. That was such a great cross and such a great off angle, just corner to play on the site. It's such a, I feel like personally that is a corner that I barely check, and I don't see many other players check up there as well, just because standards behind the boxes or on top of logs. It's just not a common position, but great defensive round there from SMSU, and we could potentially see a 4-8 split if SMSU is able to hold their own here on this last round and a half.
Yeah, but I think the streaks that SNHU had has boosted their economy. They'll be able to full buy going into this final round here. Of course, they have the operator there, but Piece of Bread has it too, and I have a feeling he picked that one up from Snare a little bit earlier, so going to make things a little bit more difficult to push into that operator on those very long sight lines, and you can see that's exactly where that Cypher's playing, watching that C long, but they know that, and they're going to ignore it completely. A very hard mid of the map style of play, not even really doing anything in a short or long this time.
Yeah, I still think this is pretty standard here that we're seeing from SNHU, just playing slow, playing towards mid. They're getting a lot of mid control here, actually, really early, and they did swap the Killjoy over to mid here with some of their utility being on the site.
Hey, look, that's a predictive play, too. They didn't just move that. Dark Crystal just expecting this for that final round, that they might be doing something a little bit surprising here. Zone, though, can't get in. He does manage to get some of that utility out of the way. They're just playing in these smokes, unable to really find anybody. There's still a minute left. They could play a rotation. What site would be the best option for you think?
I think if they want to go towards a site, they either want to go through garage to C or they want to go towards A short here. But Zone does get the pick here, and they're going to look to play into garage, maybe go towards that C site.
And now they have the information too, thanks to the Cypher ultimate. So we'll see what they do. Actually, they see that, hey, no one's on A, so let's bail. But that information from that recon bolt might kind of give it away. They know they're going to be running into somebody, but it looks like they're kind of stalwart there. Look at this. No one's rotating off of speed. They're not waiting for it, and they're going to shoot a laser into heaven. No one's there, but that's information.
Are they going to see this person on site, though, behind the boxes? They do. Nice pickup there from Nair and Bade.
That's perfect by them, I think. The operator angle really punishing them, and now the retake in heaven. They know people are going to be rotating, but the slow rotation might punish them still. Dark Crystal wins the aim duel against Wheezy. This player in hell is going to have a tough job ahead of them. Operator shot from Piece of Bread up top. Tough duel to take. You know he has an op, and Frenchie knows exactly where he is. The penetration, though. Headshot from Frenchie. Makes it work. He can't really peek this. He knows the turret's there. Very dangerously low. Doesn't want to take it. It's still a 1 versus 3, and it's still going to be tough for Dark Crystal, even with the performance that he's had. SNHU at the half go up 9-3.
That could have gone either team's way there. All SNHU's players were just brimming with such a small amount of life, and that was very close. The Piece of Bread almost gets the pick on a Frenchie there on site, and it could have been a 2v2 in that situation after that. Who knows what could have happened?
Yeah, taking that fight was a tough one for Frenchie. He managed to win it just on, the nature of tagging and how it works in this game, plus the penetration damage from the operator letting him stay alive just a little bit longer. But now we get to see this double Sentinel comp on the offense here on the T side. We'll see what SMSU want to do, and it looks like somewhat similar to what SNHU wanted to do. They're playing near this A side, and they want to force duels where they can have multiple options.
Yeah, and I think it's not a bad idea, but just looking at their comp, it's more of an information gathering comp. Not many duelists, not many entries for SMSU here. They really want to play off of information, but they're going to play this first round fast here, and you get punished by Snare early.
Yeah, this rotation is lightning fast. Great shock dart, though, by Waffle to find that one in 2 picks. Now, for the third, Jaffro, great play. Can't really duel that Phoenix when he's in the Finer, and it's all up to Frenchie. I don't know if they know where he is. They're playing those corners, but he is putting some steps down, so they should have that info soon. But it looks like they really don't know. They're looking around pretty direly, not really knowing. He hears the plan. He might go for it here. Managing to juke that shot, that recon dart as well, so they definitely don't know. But now the information is there. He doesn't know they're low, though, and Jaffro, third of the round, picking up a ghost, actually, to finish that one out. SMSU with a great offense. Rotation fast, but just still not enough.
A lot of low health bars there. A lot of low health bars. Frenchie had a really good opportunity there to maybe get the cleanup, but it was good positioning still. They still held their corners. They peaked when they needed to, and they were able to win that round. So it was a nice first round. But as I said before, is it going to come down to composition? Is that composition just too weak on attacker's side to see if they can get the rounds they need to come back into this game?
Also, they'll got the first one that they needed, and we'll see how much more they can get with it. A lot of SMGs and 1 shotgun, looks like, in their hands right now in a very mid-centric play. Another stack style. They do know that they're running into a weak economy, of course, being as SNHU lost that initial round. What is going on here in mid? A melee fight that Frenchie just jumps around on him like we're watching some Halo here. Frenchie picking up 2 in mid with the classic, picking up an SMG for 3rd as well. Omen falling there for Frenchie as well. Waffle on the site doesn't kindly give that one to Frenchie. Jade takes away the ace, but a fantastic round from him, and I still have no idea what happened there in that window.
That was quite a fiesta in that window. I'm not entirely sure either, but great shots there from Frenchie. Made the best of the situation and was able to play around in the smoke, and with not many of SMSU players understanding really what was going on in there.
I can see the whole minimap, and I really couldn't understand what was going on. So I definitely don't blame them for maybe being a little bit behind on that one. We'll see the plan from SMSU this time. It's not going to be a stack, as you can see. They're actually spread, so it's another pick style of play, but no one really watching a super long angle. We might see a fight here, but doesn't need to with the Cypher. The cameras will give Zoned all the information he needs, and Snare getting very aggressive there on that side. Does pick off that Phoenix, but they lose one on C, and now it's up to Jade to maybe fight this, but it's not where SMSU want to go. They're rotating back to T-spawn. They're going to group huddle up and decide what they want to do next.
I really like the plays there from SNHU too. As you see, a lot of them have pushed up. Wheezy's in the mid window here. Snare was able to get that early pick, And although Frenchie did get picked, he still made the aggressive play. So I think that was coordinated from all three of them just to get
Mhm.
information.
Yeah, and information,
Oof.
wow, not enough there. Dark Crystal even
Wow.
got dinked, but still won that duel with a one-tap, it looked like, on Wheezy. There's only 2 people left. What are the odds that SMSU pick the site that has people on it? You mentioned they're an intel gathering team, but they might be a little short on time. And it looks like SNHU might not necessarily have the read. No, they hear the dark cover now. They know they need to rotate back in Snare, trying to find an aggressive spot on site with Jade also in a pretty solid angle. Unfortunately, can't dodge that paranoia. So walking in, Snare doesn't win that duel. Jade does not get it either. And this bomb will go down, giving them some extra credits there. SMSU looking pretty solid here on the offense. 2-1 for them so far this half.
Yeah, they're definitely playing it very well, and they're playing a more, I think, faster 5 or 4-man pace where they're just pushing in and watching their corners, they're checking their corners, and they're executing on site and getting that headshots that they need on the entry. So I think they're playing the entry very well, and they're not playing exactly to how their comp really is, but whatever really wins them the rounds, that's what they're going for. And if that's their play style, then they're going really well with it so far.
I mean, sometimes you have to play a little bit off your agents to win when you have a comp as defensive as this, right? You can't just sit there and hold garage and hope they push into you. You have to find a way to find something here. Frenchie still playing on this seaside, playing this corner that Dark Crystal was in before. I think that means that we know they're going to check it, but we'll see if he gets forced into a fight again. But again, a very slow start here from SMSU, and it's worked before. We'll see how this duel goes. Frenchie does manage to win it again. Penetration damage and doesn't even get traded out. Perfect rotation out there with Zone replacing on this side angle. They can't take that crossfire, but they can find the person over there by mid, that Phoenix by the doors.
And just the coach in me, just watching Frenchie play towards C Long is so amazing. 4 or 5 months ago, when we first started playing as a team and we started getting everybody together, that was Frenchie's position. It's that C Long player. It's watching C Long. It's playing it towards attacker side or defender side, and he's holding very well, using information correctly, and just hitting a lot of the shots that we didn't see him hit as much that first semester. But he's definitely improved, and he's just hitting them more consistently now.
I love watching this quick rotation. It seems like SNHU is always fast to rotate and match the site, but Piece of Bread doesn't know that Snare's there. Snare gets the second one as well, pushing on the site. Wheezy helps him with the next one too. They know the last one has to be in the smoke, and now 20 seconds for this Phoenix to change the world effectively, and he's backing up right into zone. The moonwalk in. Snare gets his third. Fantastic round there from SNHU, and partially to that great rotation. I mean, Snare got some great picks on point, but you got to have that confidence from having your teammates there to give you the trade.
Of course, that was great plays there from Snare and Wheezy, and just the entire team really played that round well. I think they just used their information, able to understand where the enemy team was, and I like that SNHU's rotating early. I like that they're giving up sites and saying, you know what, we're gonna rotate early, maybe get the pick on the entry, and if you go towards the other site that we just left, we'll retake it, because we saw the prior weeks that SNHU loves to use those retake opportunities. We saw it on Ascent, and I'd really love to see it on Haven as well.
I mean, you need to rotate early on this map. Like you said, the fast rotates are so good because it's just such a long map. If you don't rotate early, you're not going to have good angles. You're going to be stuck in corners, and I think that's just very difficult to get away with against their team and the way they have it set up right now. I thought this was going to be a stack round, but SMSU are playing it a little bit slower than I was initially expecting.
Yep, and I just love how SNHU utilizes the map. We see, I believe, Wheezy just walk up and get great positioning in case SMSU wants to walk back towards mid, but nonetheless, they still might go towards A, but it's just great positioning for SNHU. They kind of created a wall towards B and towards mid.
I like that teleport to hell by Jaffro, but Jade picks up 2 right away. Basically a collat there on point, making this much more doable for SNHU when they decide to go in here 2 versus 4. But they have the site on the side of SMSU, and Hunter's Fury actually denies the plant. Getting some solid info too. Dark Crystal, they know where he is, and now he got blinded by the Reyna. Aggressive is Wheezy, and Jade picks up his 3rd of the round. SNHU are on match point and looking fantastic on this defense.
They're definitely playing very well, and those fast rotates, I think, have made such a big difference here on the defensive side of SNHU, and just great pickups. They're getting their entries. They're getting those first couple of picks when SMSU is getting on the site. They're holding their ground very well, and they're hitting their headshots pretty much.
I mean, Snare's definitely hitting his headshots. He's 20-9 right now. Ventura behind him 19-7. I mean, a combined 39-16 between them is a pretty scary thing to look at on the other side of the game. But little bit of a mix up here in the strategy from SMSU. We're playing a lot more towards mid, a lot more towards C, towards garage, and the run it back will give them a chance here, but they don't check the
Oh my
cyber
God.
cage. Zoned is going to look right behind them. Cypher wasn't ready. Wookie, he won't be able to kill him here because of that Phoenix ultimate, but he'll be close enough where maybe he can catch him out here and get aggressive with this cyber cage. The second one to push in, he will lose his life for it, but got some valuable information, and Jade is ready to make it happen. Maybe there where he's fighting, but Snare with a perfect flank all the way around. Gonna get the last one as well, put them up here. Just flawless map control there near the end by SNHU. SMSU, they weren't in long by A, and SNHU just ran it down.
I thought that was a great play there from Zone. I do want to say maybe it was a bit greedy to push 2 smokes in a row.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't mind it. He got information off the second one. He was able to get the pick off of the first. And were very Stewie-like plays, I would say. But great
is
play
Stewie
there.
still a smoke pusher? I just haven't watched recent C. I feel like he's been playing long enough where he might have gotten that habit out at least. But I know that colloquially, that's it. That's the Stewie, and Zone was channeling it a little bit.
Of course.
Didn't pay off, but it distracted them so much. It just opened the other side of the map for Snare to run in. They got that information, and Snare ran with it.
Definitely. I think just the big theme of the entire night and through that first game and of that match, because it is a best of one, was just the way that they utilized the map. We saw that I think SNHU just looked a little bit more comfortable, and they rotated fast on defense. We saw that consistently, and we did not see that from SMSU. They kind of held their sights, and they thought, you know, maybe SNHU's gonna rotate back. And even if they had done so, I think SMSU didn't really utilize the positioning advantage that they could have gained by maybe pushing up, getting a little bit more space, and it was a big factor in this game.
Yeah, and after this win, it actually is going to push. I want to mention this really quickly. It's going to push SNHU to 3-3, so now dead even in that FACEIT League, making up for the recent loss last week. And that was an exciting game last week too. And I think SMSU were able to make this one exciting as well, as their record moves to a 1-5. Some of those gunfights were crazy by them, but it just seems like maybe the teamwork is what's lacking, the delay necessarily in their moves, right? They don't trust some calls. Maybe they just think SNHU is a team that's going to fake all the time. But that to me seems to be SMSU's biggest weaknesses, because some of those gunfights were pretty tight.
They were very tight. I think if they had gotten just a little bit more positioning, they definitely could have looked to get a few more rounds and punish some of the mistakes of some of the plays that SNHU was making. But again, they just weren't making too many. It was just a really good night from SNHU. As I said before, I'm glad we got that scrim in, where a lot of them just looked very fresh. Their aim was on point, and their movement was on point, and they looked like everything was just flowing for them tonight, pretty much.
That's a little bit more scheduling work for you in the future, but I think it will pay off in time, as it already has. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this broadcast. As always, if you want to get an eye and an ear on what matches we have coming up, make sure you follow us on Twitter, !Twitter in the chat. If you want to get involved in this new esports community, !Discord in the chat. Thank you guys so much. I have been Kresnik, Sutan with me, and Joe on the productions. We'll see you next time.